So, you want to stay in the top of class 6 for those juicy friendship points and carrots, but you end up failing because you realize that the requirement to stay in the top is much higher than what your current UMAS could do. But do not worry, because I made this guide that will explain everything that you need to know, giving you the basis of the score system, and also giving you potential team recommendations, and even support card decks if you do not know which cards to use for which team. Before I jump into this video, I will highly appreciate if you subscribe and help this channel to grow, because I have spent more time building a script and trying to make the quality of the videos better for everyone to enjoy. First of all, let's talk about the score modifiers, since that is very important. An important thing to keep in mind is that all the modifiers are additive and not multiplicative. So let's give an example. If the base score is 10,000 and let's say the opponent bonus is around 60%, let's say adding the ace bonus, which is a 10%, you will get a total of 10,000 plus 6,000 plus 1,000, which means 17,000 points for that race. Let's get to explaining all the raid bonuses so that you get the general idea of the score modifiers. First off is the ace bonus. Ace bonus is probably the simplest one of them all. Your ace Uma will get a 10% extra bonus for all the scores that she gets. If you do not know what the ace is, it is basically the first row of Umas that you select on the team. Once you make your team, I highly recommend that you check which Uma is winning the most. So you put her as the ace so that the ace bonus triggers a lot more frequently. By competing against other players, you'll get something called the opponent rating bonus. This bonus is pretty significant and you could occasionally race against high rating opponents with pretty bad builds. This bonus is very valuable and not consistent, because at 150,000 team ranking ish for the player that you are fighting is about 80% bonus. So yeah, it's a pretty sizable bonus. The next thing is the support bonus. On the main team trial screen, you will see a mini Vodka and Dio Scarlet, and in the middle it says your current support bonus. The way to increase it is simply by increasing the level of your support cards in general. So mine is currently about 1.85%, and it's capping at 50%. For now it's not that big, but free scores are free scores. Next is going to be the consecutive win bonus. Every match in team trials consists of 5 races that are in random order, and you get this bonus by winning several of them in a row. For example, if you are on a 5-win streak in a row, starting from your first win, you will get a 2% win bonus when you're second, and that will get increased to 3% and so on. This is very easy to remember and great way to get extra score simply for building good Umas. So for now, I have explained all the modifiers percentages. Next up is going to be the team point, and pretty much it's not going to be a modifier, but it's basically the raw score that you will get for winning the races. So a vast majority of the score available in team trial matches are won by the individual performance of your Umas. There are some ways to get extra score for winning with your team. So if you win against your opponent, which is by winning 3 or more races during the match, you will get a bonus of 10,000 points. This is rewarded after all the races have finished. And there is a very important thing that you should keep in mind, and that is the only score modifier that applies here is actually the opponent bonus and not other bonuses. So for example, if you are against an opponent that will give you around an 80% opponent bonus and win, you will get a total of 18,000 points for that victory. Then there is the first, second, and third place bonus. And getting this means that your Umas have completely swept the race and took the top 3 places. If they manage to do so, you will be rewarded with 5,000 extra score. So if the case that one of your Umas slightly falls short and gets either 4th or 5th, that bonus will become 4,000 instead. One of the biggest factors in team trial individual score, that being the race result. This is what you would call as a placing bonus. Here, as this table is taken from GameTura, which is an awesome website, the most important ones are the top 3, of course. So you would get 10,000 score if you placed it first, 8,000 if you placed it second, 7,000 if you placed it third. If your Umas took all these spots, then your base just for winning is going to be 30,000 without any extra additive modifiers. Next up is the first to second place difference. This part only applies to the Uma that finished the race in first place. When that happens, she will get another bonus, and this bonus depends on either how big of a margin she won or how close she won. This is probably the hardest part to calculate in the entire team trial score calculation. If you look at the table that is made by GameTura, you either want the race to be extremely close or extremely one-sided. Anything between that and the bonus is going to be much less. Next up is the skills. Every time your character activates a normal skill, you'll get 500 score for that, and if it's a gold skill, you'll get 1200 score instead. This means that in skill wise, it is better to buy the gold skill if it is a skill that could be bought easily, rather than having 2 normal skills. They're anyways stronger than just using 2 normal skills of the same category when it comes to strength. So getting gold skills is often a good idea. Next up is the unique skills. The scoring for the unique skill activation is a bit more complicated than just the normal skills, ranging from 1500 all the way to 2600. It depends on the level of the skill and the base rarity of your Uma. For example, the base score is 1500 for a level 1 unique Uma that is either a 1 star or 2 star. The 2 star is going to be a level 2 unique skill. As you may know, the unique skill of an Uma gets upgraded when she gets to 3 stars. You will also get a bonus for score for this. Activating the upgraded unique skill is worth 500 more score compared to 1 or 2 star Umas. This one is very often misunderstood because it doesn't have to do with your positioning skills. What it means is that your character needs to be the first among the other characters within the same strategy. So, if your Uma is a late surger, she has to be the first late surger so that she could get extra points for that. So if you pay attention, good positioning is actually a really good way for extra scores. If you use 3 Umas, each using 3 different strategies, and they get placed first on the good positioning, they will get 2000 points each. Once when they hit the middle part of the race, and then last spurt or last corner, she will get another 1000 points. So that's 2000 points. So if you do that with 3 different Umas on the team, that's extra 6000 points. Then across the 5 races, you will actually get 30 extra 1000 points for using different strategies. Keep in mind that's going to be very important later when I recommend the characters. So keep an eye for that. Next is going to be the beat target time. Every racetrack available in team trials has a predetermined time value known as the standard course time. By beating the standard time, you can get 100 points for 0.1 second, with the upper limit of being 2000 points for 2 seconds. This is very simple because if you are fast, you will pretty much guaranteed a lot of extra points. Another one is going to be Strong Start. This one is up for RNG sadly, but essentially it is like a late start, but instead if it was good. If your UMA has triggered a good start, then you will be rewarded with 1000 point. Then you got Dark Horse. This means that your UMA has been ranked 8th, favorite or lower, and manages to get within the top 3. You will be granted 4000 extra points. While the amount sounds really good on paper, the problem becomes that aiming for this specifically would require that you will potentially sabotage your build, so generally it's not worth it. Lastly, we have rushed. Rushing is a negative effect that happens randomly to any UMA during the race. The chances can be lowered by having a higher wit stat. Being affected by this status will actually subtract score from you. It is the only penalty that exists in team trials. There is two parts for this. One is that it's a flat penalty of 500 points as soon as you get rushed. And the second part depends on how long your UMA had rushed it for. So for each second she will have an extra 100 points penalty, and then the at maximum, which is the worst case, it's going to be 12 seconds. So 1700 points taken if you have rushed it on you for the longest possible time. However, this can be further extended with other debuffs, so debuffers in team trials are somewhat rare. Thankfully, score modifiers like ace bonus do not affect the penalty in any way. Now that you understand the basics, you might need help with knowing which UMAs are good for what teams. So in that case, I will share my recommended UMA for what team, and overall deck build strategies and explanation as to why, so that you can plan your class 6 team without much stress of demoted out of it. Before I jump into the recommendations, keep in mind that multiple UMA characters could run well in multiple type of races. For example, Augury Cup can pretty much run anything but sprint. Same could be said for Mayono Toppagan outside of dirt, so it's just based on what you need the most. Alright, that being said, let's jump into the first team, which is the sprint team. Your recommended UMAs would be Sakura Bakshin as your front racer, Karen Chen as your pace chaser or late surger, King Halo as your pace chaser slash late surger, and then if you do not have Karen Chen, you could go with Airgrove as your pace chaser or late surger. Keep in mind that you want to use 3 different strategies while running. Moving on, we got the parents and support cards. If you do not have any of these options, it is fine. You could use other substitutes, but these cards are my general recommendations. Feel free to check GameTura website and compare the cards with each other to see the best results. So, you could have 2 options. You could use the classical sprint strategy, which is 3 speed, 3 power, if your UMA has speed growth rates on her. So, if you're going to use that strategy, for me, I use those cards. For speed, I use Kirasan Black because it is the only card that I will say in the entire video that is basically like going to be put on every deck, because it's the best speed card, and speed cards are the most important cards. Moving on is going to be Sweep Tosho, a really good SR speed card. If you got her to max limit break, the skill point bonus could help you squeeze an extra skill compared to the other cards. Could give you charming early on in a career, which quickly snowballs into a very powerful run. This is probably the best SR speed card. And then lastly, for speed, for me it's going to be King Halo. A wonderful card for almost every case, being almost on par with Sweep Tosho at times. High hint frequency and a level 3 hint bonus means that you will get skills like corner recovery at high discounts, allowing you to save for more expensive skills. Has a speed and power bonus upon reaching max limit break, which is extremely helpful. Though, an important note that she has to be at least limit break 1 to be useful, has limit break 0, has no specialty priority. Though, in the case of King Halo has a trainee, you can't use her alongside the support card. In that case, you could swap her for something like Sakura Bakushin, Pekao Pegasus, Special Week, or Isayan Flash if you do not have any of these cards. For power cards, I would go with Dakio Halos. She is a really good card for power in general. Her events could give you up to 40 power, and her initial of 20 power added on top could give you up to 60. Also much easier to start friendship training with, because she is most likely going to give you hints due to her high hint frequency. At max limit break, she gives you extra power while training, which is helpful. Haishian Amazon is an amazing card to get power with, having very high friendship bonus, mood bonus, and has events that gives you power, and she also has 20 initial power. At max limit break, she gives you extra stamina while training, which helps you a lot when it comes to maybe removing a stamina parent for a favor of a power parent. As for the friend card that you will borrow, Yuno Mataki is probably the best card to pick, as she's really good here, giving you 4 or 5 great skills like ramp up, home stretch haste, prepare to pass, which is the perfect for front runners, tail held high, and it's on, which is a gold version of ramp up. Her hint frequency is very high at 60%, and she gives you a hint level of 4, meaning that you will instantly get max discounts, letting you save for other expensive skills. Really strong card to save skill points and get great skills with. Next up is going to be the other deck, which is a speed oriented build where you use 4 speed and 2 power cards. For the context of speed, the reason that you would want to use this build is that if your Uma is struggling to get to max power, in that case you want to use this deck. So for speed, it is exactly the same as mentioned earlier, which is Kirasan Black, Sweep Tosho, and King Halo, though you could replace either Amazon or Halos in a favor of another card, which is like Silence Suzuka, the go-to card for the front runners, since she provides so much skills for front runners. Peiko Pegasus or Sakura Bakushin has both are great cards for sprint decks, though Sakura Bakushin is much easier overall and has slightly better hint skills. If you do not have any of these cards, then you could pick the SSR free-to-play Special Week card or the SR Assign Flash card. You can either drop Amazon or Halo's card, since both of them are really good, though I would recommend keeping Amazon since she has the stamina bonus when you train with her. As your friend card, you will still want to use Yono Matuke, as she's still one of the best power cards for sprint. As for the parents, you should try to aim for a hybrid of stamina and power. Then check their pink sparks. If they have a sprint, then pick it in the hopes of a sprint S. If not, your next priority is probably going to be turf, and then lastly the specific race strategy the parents have, like front runner, pace chaser, and late searcher. Now that I am done with talking about the sprint team, Moving on to the second team, which is going to be Mile. Your recommended Umas is a bit more free compared to Sprint, as that would be Marozunski has your front runner, Silent Suzuka has your front runner, Daiwa Scarlet has your front runner or pace chaser, Vodka has your light soldier, Grass Wonder has your pace chaser, and then lastly, Narta Tayashin has your end closer. Though as you can see, there is an overlap when it comes to your front runners. You only need to pick one of the three and then discard the other two. For an example, you could run Silent Suzuka as your front runner and then make Marozensky a medium runner slash switch Daiwa Scarlet to pace chaser. Anyways, going on to the Umas themselves. Moving on for Mile support cards, it is essentially the exact same thing as Sprint, minus that you could swap the Halos or the Amazon card for the SSR Varika card if you got her, since she has good Mile skills and has the Breath of Fresh Air skill. As for the parents, aim for a pure stamina or a hybrid of 6-star stamina and 3 power parent. In the 9-star Uma setup, that's either 63 stamina for a full 9-star or 42 stamina and 41 power if it's a 6-star stamina and 3-star power. Similarly to Sprint, check their pink sparks. If they have a Mile, then pick it in hopes of a Mile S. If not, your next priority would be Turf, and then lastly the specific race strategy the parents have. Though I would normally go over medium, I'm going to quickly go through dirt, since dirt is very similar to Mile. Smart Falcon has your front runner, Tayaki Shatuli has the front runner or pace chaser, Oguri Cap has a pace chaser, El Condor Pasa has a light soldier, and Hirurara has the end closer. Moving on for dirt. It is essentially the exact same thing as Mile because dirt consisted of Mile races. So instead of turf, it's basically dirt. Hence, the support cards are still the exact same option. The parents are also very similar to Mile, those being a full stamina parent or a hybrid of between 6-star stamina and 3-star power parent. And so, the only difference, the pink sparks instead of turf is going to be dirt. So yeah, dirt and Mile are very similar in terms of support cards and parents, minus some minor differences. Now that I'm done talking about the dirt team, here is where it differs a lot compared to Mile, dirt, and the sprint teams. Here are your recommended Umas to go with for the medium distance. Mihino Bourbon and Mayano Toboggan has a front runner. Meijiro Ryan, Tokai Teo and her anime collab counterpart. Agneas Tekion has pace chasers. Opera O, winning ticket, and Nice Nature has light sorcerers. Well, as you can see, there is a lot more options for medium team compared to the other teams when it comes to Umas. As for the support cards, stuff actually changed a lot. The Uma growth rates now matter more than usual since medium and long have required stamina threshold in order to consistently win, which is around 800 stamina with a gold recovery skill. That being said, here is what I would recommend support deck wise. Again, as a reminder, if you do not have any of these, you could substitute it with different cards. Check Game Tura and use the compare list for more information. If the Uma that you are training has 10 or 20% growth rates in speed, I would recommend you using 3 speed, 3 stamina card strategy. Why? As your Uma has 10 or 20% speed growth rate, she is much likely to max her speed or get very close to maxing it. So there is no point on adding a force speed card on the deck. As for the speed cards, it's essentially the same cards. Kirasan Black because it's the best SSR speed card in the game. Sweep Tosho because it's one of the best cards in general, plus giving you the chance of getting Charm early on in the career. King Halo, which is a wonderful card because of her high hint frequency and the level 3 hint bonus, which means that you could get some skills like corner recovery at a high discount. As for the stamina cards, if you are not borrowing Kirasan Black because yours is a limit break 3 or above, then the friend card will always be Super Creek. She is super good at max limit break, which means that in most cases, if you do not have her at limit break 3 at the minimum, you would use her as a friend card. She gives Swinging Maestro, which is one of the best stamina recovery skills in the entire game. She could also give you an occasionally a corner recovery, ramp up, or home stretch haste, which all are decent skills and a small discount towards the Swinging Maestro. Then it's going to be your own cards. It really depends on two things. Which strategy do you like to use and which cards are at higher limit breaks. First, let's say you want to play risky and just get a high roll card. Then you will probably pick Maya no Top Gun and Xeno Rob Roy as they have the highest friendship training. Though Maya no Top Gun is very annoying to train as she has no initial friendship gauge, even at max limit break. If you want a more consistent route, then you should pick Mathman Cafe and Xeno Rob Roy. If you have low limit breaks on one of your SR cards, then potentially swap it out with the free SSR Measure McQueen card if you got her to limit break 3. As for the parents, that would be either a full stamina parent or a hybrid between 6-star stamina and 3-star power parent. In a 9-star Uma setup, that's either 63 if full 9-star or 42 and 21 power if 6-star stamina and 3-star power. Then check for the pink sparks and see if they have a lot of medium. If they have a lot of medium, pick it. If not, pick turf. If not, pick the specific race strategy that parents have. If your Uma does not have 20% speed bonus, you go with a 4 speed and 2 stamina strategy. Since your Uma without insane high rolls probably would struggle getting to max speed, you want to swap a stamina card for another speed card. The same 3 speed cards do apply as mentioned above. You most likely would swap your Mathman Cafe for another speed card, unless you got your Xeno Rob Roy at low limit breaks, then drop Rob Roy instead. The card that you will swap with is most likely going to be the SSR Special Week card or Isayan Flash, since both of them are much better than Narta Taishin. Your deck will most likely consist of the following: Kirasan Black, Sweep Tosho, King Halo, then you pick either Special Week or Isayan Flash. Then you would want to pick either Xeno Rob Roy, Mathman Cafe, or Maya no Top Gun if you like high rolling. Then you should borrow a Super Creek. If you have Super Creek but your Kirasan Black is at low limit breaks, then borrow Kirasan Black and use that Super Creek instead. We are almost done with the teams. Lastly is going to be the long team. And for the long team, here's your recommended Umas. Measure McQueen and her anime collab counterpart has the front runner, Sempioli Rudolph has the pace chaser, Baiwa Haya Hyde has the pace chaser, Special Week has a pace chaser, Super Creek has a pace chaser, Rice Shower is a late surger, Mati Kan Fukutaro, I think I said her name right, late surger, then Gold Ship has the end closer. Sadly, that pretty much means that the front runners are exclusive to very limited selection of characters, but you can still achieve that good positioning on 3 Umas using a pace chaser, late surger, and then an end closer. Now that we are done with every single Uma, the last part is going to be the support cards. Now usually you actually require much higher stamina at around 1000 and 1 or 2 gold recovery skills in order for your Umas to not die in the last spurt. Though, for long races, there is a high differences of meter per track. So sometimes you get a track that is basically like 2600 meters, and then you get another track that is 3400 meters, which means if you get a very long track, even if your Umas are built good for 2600 meter range, they will probably run out of stamina going to last spurt for the 3000 plus mark meter races. That being said, as for the stamina cards, it's most likely going to be a 4-speed 2 stamina card split. The reason is that, unfortunately for long races, it is basically a high rolling career territory. As for the support cards, you most likely will pick the 4-speed 2 stamina strategy, since most Umas do not have speed growth, but they do have stamina growth. So, you want to pick Kira-san Black because she's still the best card in every single scenario. Then King Halo and then Sweep Tosho. Then pick Assign Flash or the SSR Special Weak card. As for your stamina cards, you should always pick Super Creek and then your Majoro McQueen if she is Limit Break 3 or above, since she gives cooldown, which is a very essential skill for long races. And that is that. I hope this video has helped you to get high scores and even maintain your rank 6 for team trials. Next video, I will be talking about the shop and how you can optimize your resources as a free-to-play player. So if you're excited for that, make sure to subscribe and leave a like so that it will help the channel's growth, and I hope to see you in the next one.